They suck.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Sport. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show. Anthony, how are you, my friend?
Doing well, Brian. Trying to stay positive here. It's Friday. Excited for the weekend festivities. As always, beautiful day out. So I'm pumped to be here, dude. Pumped to be here with you.
Yeah, me too. And I was telling you before the show, obviously last night was not good for me or you in terms of the results of the baseball games. But like I said, I'm not going to be a mope. I don't care. I don't care how bad it gets. I will not be a mope. I'm going to bring the energy, even if they're not bringing it. So I just want to get that clear, Tony. Okay,
let's fucking go, dude. Love to hear it.
You know, so there's so much to talk about. I guess what I want to do first is just give everybody an update on the AT&T Byron Nelson. We had our first round yesterday, and the second round is currently in progress.
Yes,
and
sir.
like we talked about, this course, very gettable. And speaking of someone taking advantage of that, SY No shot a 11 under 60 yesterday. I would imagine that has to be a course record, close to a course record, whatever the case may be, but 11 under par, that's pretty crazy. So a guy that I'm not too familiar with, but he's 2 shots clear of Ryan Palmer and Scotty Scheffler, who are both 9 under par, both shooting 64s yesterday. Jason Day had a 64 yesterday, so he's finally playing well. He's 3 shots back at 8 under. You had Adam Scott shoot 63 yesterday. So just this leaderboard, I mean, just littered with low numbers. And it's nice to see some of the big names on top. And I think it's the reason why you had somebody like Jason Day, like Scotty Scheffler play this event. And I know Scotty's from Texas, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. But I think it's because it's such a gettable course and they just want to have success on the course leading up to the PGA.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. Is that definitely a course record, by the way?
I had to look it up.
Have to look it up. That's pretty crazy, dude. Do you know much about this guy?
No, I don't.
Nothing.
And all I can tell you, Tony, is it's a huge deal if somebody breaks 60. So to shoot 60 on the number, I mean, that's up there. That's like you're in a class of yourself.
Unbelievable.
What was it? KH Lee is the one going for the 3 that you picked, right?
Correct.
I'm just looking, not near the top here. I'm gonna keep going down the list. Still not there. Wow, I don't know what he did yesterday. Still
he's
not
blowing
there.
me, dude.
Literally still not there. We might be okay. So he shot an even par 70 yesterday. Or no, he shot 1 under 70 yesterday, 69. And he's 1 under for the tournament outside the cut line right now, which is projected to be, you need at least 3 under. And I would imagine that may go up if we have another day of some low numbers. So
that's for sure.
Tough
dude.
Spot. And it's always interesting, Tony, where, you'll have a tournament and like the Travelers is like this sometimes where you need to be 4 under, 5 under heading into the weekend. I mean, that just shows, how strong the field is playing.
Is this an easy course?
Yeah, I mean, I think relative, to if you think about some of the tougher courses here. I'm going to course stats. I want to see. I know it'll give me yardage, but I wonder if it would have given me the. So the yardage is 74.14. I've played, some courses that are that long. So that just shows you, this is definitely not one of the longer courses on the PGA Tour.
What do you think you would shoot here?
I would. It's tough, yeah, with the tees and everything. I mean, I would imagine it would be like a 110 or something. Like it's like you get to break 100 with PGA conditions. That was crazy. I have to say. I don't think I was moving that like much.
I want to say it was you, dude.
No, but I'm saying, was it that crazy that I was moving that much?
I don't think so. Definitely no more than usual.
Yeah. They gotta list Wikipedia. Usually, you would think. Okay, I'm gonna just look it up.
Just do it. Let's just do it, dude.
Course record TPC Craig Ranch. That is the course record.
Wow. That's sick, dude.
Oh, okay, but he tied it.
Oh.
And he had a cracked driver, Tony. How about that? He cracked his driver mid-round yesterday.
What the fuck, really?
Yeah. I'm just trying to see who.
And he was still using it cracked.
Yeah.
That's tough, dude.
Significant damage.
Wow, significant damage.
Yeah, it doesn't. I could find it, but I know at least he's tied for the course record. So obviously, that's big for him. And I do think we're gonna continue that trend of the mid-20s by the time this is all said and done.
Oh yeah.
But of course, we will give you a leaderboard update before the end of the show, and then have a recap as we will crown a champion on Sunday, heading into the second major of the season. So pumped for that. Absolutely can't wait. Tiger officially out of that, but we knew that with the Liz Frank surgery. It is a shame. I had so much optimism after Riviera with Tiger, and I would say out of all the ups and downs that I've had with like getting riled, thinking he's going to make a run, I would say this is the lowest point right now. I know. Almost have to say that, I mean, there's a decent possibility that, I mean, at least maybe that he's not going to play this year or possibly ever. I mean, I would think he doesn't want to just go out like without notice like this. You know what I mean? But doesn't it kind of feel like he's not playing anytime soon regardless?
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how he could. And, you know, you saw what he was like at the Masters too. I mean,
struggling, the hat on.
Yeah, dude. Like, couldn't really walk well.
So like, sad. Really so sad.
Oh my God.
And it's so annoying too, because he was already messed up, you know, with his back. And yet, if you compare footage of that compared to now, it was like he was completely healthy. With a fused back, he's fine.
Yeah.
And let's see, Prefer wants to talk about baseball, but you know what? Let's just go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Skip! And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So obviously, as I alluded to in the open, a really tough night on the diamond. You know, in terms of the Yankees, you know, I was at the game. And
Brian.
Yeah. I mean, it was tough. All excited, you know, perfect night out, nice seats, all of that. And just nothing offensively. Just one of those lull nights. And like I said, Tony, in the beginning, I'm not going to be a moper. I refuse to be a moper. I still believe in this team as much as anybody. But I have to say, I'm disgusted. I've had it, and I've come to a couple revelations. Okay, number one, you know, we complain about Boone, we complain about Cashman, and all of those things are warranted. But at the end of the day, you know, we've talked accountability before. These players got to do better. Okay. I do not want to hear it. We can blame management. We can blame Boone. We can blame Cashman. At the end of the day, they're on the field and they have more than enough talent to compete against some of the best teams in baseball. And clearly, last night, they did not do that. And there's no reason, Rasmussen, he pitched well against us last time. No, that's not a valid excuse. You only score your 2 runs in the 9th inning, and you look like complete fools. You look like a little league team, and it's just like you're in last place. You lose a couple more games this weekend, we're easily in the double digits in terms of how far we're back from the Rays, and it's freaking May. Like, you got to get your head out of your derriere and just come to the ballpark ready to go. Yeah, we talked about this. It was nice what they did against Oakland, but you cannot get embarrassed at home against the Rays. Like, don't make the Rays what the Houston Astros have been to you the last 6 years. Learn from that. And it's like, you have to cut it off at the knees right now. You got to stop with this BS. And if you need to change your approach, change your approach. If you need to lay down a bunt, lay down a bunt. If you need to do a hit and run, you need to do a hit and run. That was pathetic, honestly. And it's like, they're not in danger of losing me. Okay. I'm always going to be there, but you keep playing like this, you're going to lose like the in-between fan, the casual couple times a year fan going to the game. You're going to lose them because you looked lifeless. You looked like a joke, and you didn't look like the New York Yankees. And I'm just tired of it. There's been so many chances, and it's like, I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough of what us fans have had to go through literally for 6 years in a row. 6 years in a row, just ripping our heart out and just being so disappointing. And at the end of the day, there's, like I said, there's more than enough there. You got to friggin' execute. This isn't Little League. This is Major League Baseball. You got to be able to perform. You got to be able to hit tough pitching, and like to see the frustration on the guys' faces. And it's just like, I don't know. To me, it just doesn't seem like accountability. It really doesn't. And it's like I said, it's hot and cold. And I know good hitting is contagious, but I also know terrible hitting is contagious. And that's been so evident over the past 6 years. And it's absolutely ridiculous. You look at last night as a team, you were 4 for 30. 4 for 30. How many of those hits did you have in the ninth inning? I think at least 2, maybe 3. I think it was 2, whatever the case may be. You should have been in this game when Marinaccio came to relieve Herman in the 6th inning. He should have been able to get out of that inning. You don't allow a bases clearing double. It's just poor execution. You have to step up and you have to be better. And I'm challenging them. I want to know, who are you? Are you going to step up this weekend? Are you going to get slammed by the Rays and be in last place in the American League East, double digits behind, and it's freaking May? It's not even halfway through May. I mean, it really is insane. And I know they're on an historic run, but you got to show your presence. You got to show that you can compete with them. And I know they were close against the Rays in Tampa last weekend, but close isn't good enough. Close isn't good enough. It's time to just step up. We're the New York Yankees. Start acting like it. It really is so ridiculous. And I'm really just so fed up about it. It really is. It really is. And I feel like I let them off the hook too much. And it's like, guys, like I said, need to start becoming accountable. It's like, you're not going to be in the lineup if you're not going to do your job. That's the type of tone we need to set. And that part solely is on Aaron Boone. But I mean, I just think it's insane. It's insane that you're going to get anything's difficult. You can't do anything difficult. It all has to be just handed to you on a silver platter. Otherwise, Rasmussen is so good. How can Rasmussen, what does he have? 13 straight scoreless innings against us? 2 hits last night. You don't even draw a walk. Okay. He's not Satchel Paige. It really is insane. And I'm so tired of it. And, I mean, sure, the optimistic fan in me is saying that they're going to take 2 out of 3 this weekend, and starting tonight with Cole, that could change things. But it's like the offense has to do their part. They can't rely on Cole to have a complete game shutout with 18 strikeouts. Okay. The offense needs to score 3 at least, but more likely 4 or 5 runs to win this game. I know Cole got into trouble in Tampa. He's going to be okay now. So, we'll see. But it's like, you wait all off season. You've had 6 years in a row of just complete disappointment. And it's like, it's time to look at yourself in the mirror and just say to yourself, can you handle this? Can you handle being here? Can you handle with competing with the best baseball players in the world? And do you want to take pride every time you go out there? Or are you okay with mediocrity? Because I know I'm not okay with it. And I know Tony's not okay with it either.
No, no, I'm not okay with it, Brian. I mean, I totally understand the frustrations, obviously, and you're right. I mean, when you look at what the Yankees looked like, you mentioned they struck out 9 times as a team, had no offense. I mean, every pitcher gave up at least 1 run yesterday, and I mean, obviously the Tampa Bay Rays, we mentioned how they have a huge target on their backs because of the way they've been starting this season. It is pretty crazy though, the talent that is on the team right now. I mean, you got to give it to them. Like, they are 30-9 for a reason. Yes, the Yankees should have done better. Rasmussen really isn't that great. He really isn't.
You could beat him though. That's it. It doesn't matter how great they've done. You have more talent on the team. I mean, it's ridiculous. If we had that lineup just because the way we do things, we would get shut out every game. That's not a good lineup. I don't want to hear it. It's not a fucking good lineup. It's really not.
Yeah.
I mean, who is that good, Tony? Who's winning an MVP in that lineup?
MVP? Probably nobody.
Maybe,
I mean, Franco,
maybe, but he hasn't shown that much. Diaz is okay. Franco is okay. Arozarena is okay. Everybody else, did you even know they were in the major leagues? I mean, it's like they're nobody. They're nobody, and they're smacking you around in your own ballpark. I mean, it just completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. We have a couple comments.
Yes, dude. We have a few comments here. We'll skip the first 2 from before. Stick with the Yankees right now. Your mother comes in, says, a little loud with the screaming, Brian. I know it's very frustrating. She says, my ears are hurting. LOL. I will say, Brian, I mean, you did a great job not cursing, right?
Yeah, I think there might have been no, not a couple, maybe just one. Maybe but one. I really did try my best.
I mean, you said get your heads out of your derriere.
Yeah, because Adam Shine actually says that one.
So funny. Prefer feels your pain. Says I'm sorry. Dwayne says, hey guys, has been a while, Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne. Hope you're doing well, bud.
He says Brian's fed up this morning. He says, how about them Reds? I mean, just way to come in at the wrong time, Dwayne. Huh?
Yeah, like, no. But congrats, Dwayne. Congrats.
Yeah, dude. So we had some people in the comments feeling for you too, Brian. I mean, it is super tough. Rick and Dave, by the way, all morning has been talking about like the payroll of the Rays and everything like that.
No, it's so annoying. It is so annoying. And like I said, at the end of the day, the players, it's the Yankees' fault for putting out there whoever can't perform. And I know there's some players in there who are having good years. Rizzo's one of them. LeMay is one of them. But it's like, when there's a game like this, just step up. You have to step up. Don't put your hands in your pockets, your head to the sky, and expect the guy behind you to do it. You have to do it. I feel like that's what it is. That's what it is. And then then one guy hits a home run, and then, I could do it. I could do it. Why can't you do it all the time? Why do you need to wait for somebody to do it? Why can't you be the guy? Why can't you step up?
Now, I mean, like, obviously, you're talking about the Yankees, obviously they do have good players. They do have a good lineup. They have a better lineup, like you were alluding to. But I mean, what do you think? I mean, the top half of your lineup just went 0 for everything last night. Your first 4 batters, Volpe, Judge, Rizzo, LeMahieu, all 0 for 3 or 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 rather. Again, I mean, what's the deal? Like, what happened?
The deal is that I think we talked like last year when I'm just every day asking you what's going on. Like, why aren't they scoring when they had that stretch? July to August, whatever the case may be. And it's like, I think it's the same thing. I think it's that they're pressing, and also too, they're not reading the room. And I know it's like, it's so cool to hit a home run. Like, I get that. But you know what else is cool? Winning, and how do you do that? You get on base, you drive runners in, you get yourself into scoring position. And it's like last night was a perfect example. Okay. You have to lay one down, maybe try to bunt for a hit, bunt, steal second, make them make a throw. Maybe the throw goes into the outfield. Then you get to third. Then you don't even need a hit for a run. You can get a sac fly. And as John Sterling would say, a fly ball. You need a fly ball. Like, it's like, you could do that. So I just feel like it was like, I think they got discouraged early, and then the approach was not changed. You have to change the approach. You know it. It's not home run derby against the Rays. They pitch you well. So you need to counteract that by choking up on the bat. I know, last night Rizzo didn't do anything, but he's usually good with that. Poke one over second. Like, it's like there's a time to mash 5 home runs. Last night, clearly you could tell a couple innings in wasn't going to be that night. So, like, instead of hoping that you score 10 runs in the 9th inning, maybe just like chip away at it. And it's like, I just feel like it's like they didn't even try that. And it's, like I said, I really think it's like an underrated thing. And especially too, the people like, not like us, Tony, that don't appreciate baseball. And they just think, oh, Yankee fans, like, you're so spoiled. You guys don't need to win anymore. All that money, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. Okay. But when you're invested day in and day out every day, and it's been 14 years for a team that prides itself on championship or bust. Nothing else is, you're not settling for anything else. And you haven't been there. And there are certain things either that the front office could have done or that the team themselves can do. And it's like, they've got embarrassed at certain points of the season. I mean, at least for 3 years, probably longer. But I want to say the last completely consistent season, Tony, was 2019. That's it. I know last year, 99 wins, ALCS, woohoo. But the problem was they were the worst team in baseball for a month, and they got embarrassed by the Astros. And it's like, last night was an Astros game. It was the same exact thing, and that has to fall on the players. But yeah, I just think it, like I said, it's like people just don't understand. I've been watching the Yankees since I was 6 years old. And, during that time, you almost took it for granted. Like you knew that they were basically going to be in the World Series. And now you have to fight tooth and nail just to win the division. I mean, they've won, 2 division titles the last 10 years, 2 for 10. I mean, in the Joe Torre years, you're winning the division 90% of the time. So I just there's so many layers here, Tony. But at the end of the day, the players got to be better. And I'm not saying that they can't respond tonight. And I think Cole gives them their best shot. But I just want to feel like teams are going to come into our park and fear us. And I think unless it's a team like the Oakland A's, unfortunately, it's been kind of a while since that's been the case. I mean, I know last year was so great at this time. At this time last year, I mean, I was cheesing from ear to ear about how well they were playing. But still, I still felt like there was still something different. And we saw that something different at the end of the year. And what I'm saying is I think they're coming up short on passion and integrity and intensity. I mean, what do you think, honestly? Do you think that's missing? That's we talk about all the time is like, why they can't get back there. Right. And I feel like those things almost might be the biggest 3 things.
Yeah. I mean, I like, again, like it is kind of tough maybe to pinpoint it to one thing because it isn't one thing. But I mean, when you look at the team they have, the lineup, I mean, they have, more than enough talent on the team to do what they should be doing, which is winning these games. I mean, yeah, you have some holes. I mean, I think Herman as a starting pitcher is a hole, but like to what you're saying, like that's when a lineup should dig deep,
score 5,
and and pull out some runs. When a bullpen also has to realize, hey, we need to come out here and be on top of it. And obviously, maybe an off night for Marinaccio. Abreu's been kind of hit or miss recently, dude. And then I don't know much about Weber, the guy who closed out the last 2 innings, but
so he actually, I think he started the game that we went to last year where Rizzo hit the home run.
Really?
Yeah, and they got DFA'd because they had too many guys or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But listen, there, like you mentioned Abreu, like he's kind of on the cusp of being in danger of his roster spot. But again, there's enough in the bullpen, and they have, Marinaccio, that was probably his worst outing of the season. He's going to be fine. And if there's one thing that I actually feel good about, it is the bullpen. But just don't make them be on their heels all the time, where it's like we can't let up one run, and it's like the biggest deal. And every time they look at that box score, that it's the 5th inning, it's the 6th inning, and there's 2 hits, and there's no runs, and it's just embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, and it's like, I know the offense was great against the A's, but it's the A's. These are the Rays. And like, I would think the players, because we know I'm tired of it. All of us Yankee fans are tired of it, but I'm just tired of, like, you even just said it before about the whole payroll thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so, I mean, that shows you a couple of things, that if they're able to be just as good of us, if not better, I know they haven't won a championship either, but they just seem like they play better. But obviously, that's an indictment on the organization.
Mm-hmm.
That's an indictment on the front office for not allocating resources. So in no way, when I said that at the end of the day, the players are most at fault for this, it doesn't, they're not off the hook, but neither is the front office. But you have what you have. So the guys there have to perform. They have to play. And, I mean, do I think that we're pretty much a lock to turn it around, get at least the 2nd or 3rd wild card? Yeah. But I want to go on a run and contend for the division.
Mm-hmm.
And, this lead, I mean, we saw the Yankees almost blow their lead last year.
Yeah.
It seems insurmountable, but it's not. And I know the Rays are going to falter at some point, but I don't want to get the division that way. I want to beat them now. And if you think about it, they've beaten us 3 out of 4 games so far this season. And we got 3 games left this weekend. So, are they going to want to play tonight? I mean, they should, but it's like, it's disheartening that I can't even be confident in that, just because of the offense. It still feels like, Tony, that tonight, for them to win, it has to be 2-1, 3-2.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's pitching for the Rays.
Trevor Kelly.
Okay, so opener?
30-year-old right-hander. I want to say, let's see, looking at his overview, game started this season. Yeah. Okay. Only pitched 2 innings out of the bullpen. Gave up 2 earned runs in those 2 innings, 1 walk. That was against Toronto about a month ago.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, the Yankees minus 178. So you feel like they should win this game. But
yeah,
I know I'm going to be sweating it out, Tony, though. You know what I mean? There's no chance it's 10-0. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, you never know with this. I mean, dude, the opener, again, the probabilities of a team, we talked about it
unless
yesterday.
They're facing the Mets.
Unless it's the Mets, obviously. Thank you. You talked about, relying on 5-6 guys, pitching really well who have their stuff. I mean, it seems unlikely this guy Kelly doesn't have a lot of looks in the majors this season. So,
but also we've seen that too, and I know Matt knows that is like, guy barely pitching the majors. Oh, let's strike out 10 times against him over 6 innings. I mean, I know this guy's not going to pitch that many innings, but you catch my drift.
Yes.
And, so I know I usually summarize the game. It wasn't even worth that in my eyes. There's nothing to summarize. It was complete crap. Okay. And it was tough, because I just being there. I mean, it was a beautiful night. It was a packed house, and they gave us nothing to cheer for. And I know me getting sympathy from you about this is not going to happen. But the one thing I want to ask you before we go to the Mets disaster from yesterday is, am I right to say, though, that I know it sounds ridiculous, but since 2017, us true fans have been through the ringer, and it's actually been pretty tough, honestly.
Like Yankee fans
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah. We put our heart and soul into this team, and they've been choke artists for 6 years.
Yeah, I think I could agree with that.
And like you could acknowledge, I know it doesn't just work like that. Like you put together a good roster, you win a championship, but they've had more than enough chances, more than enough talent.
Oh, yeah.
And the teams that have won aren't flawless themselves.
Right.
So and we're in the postseason every year, and it's like it just can't be one time where we're just on fire hitting in the postseason, hitting a lot of home runs.
Yeah.
It's so weak. It's so disgusting. And I really don't want to. I really don't want this to be a bad weekend. So, Garrett Cole, I'm putting this on you to set the tone tonight, and I want you, if he needs to maybe call a couple guys out. We don't need any bows thrown, but let's go. And also too, mark my word. Let's say Cole gets into trouble in the first, allows a run or two. Yankees are scoreless through 3. Boone's getting ejected. He's going to do that, and hopefully that works. I sometimes it seems like, what are you doing? That's not going to do anything, but maybe it will. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, if they're scoreless through 3 or 4 innings, Boone's getting canned 100%.
Wow.
So that's my piece, Tony. We'll talk more about the game in a second, but I know you feel the same way. What happened yesterday?
Well, I mean, I'll just break it to you real quick. If you don't know already, Mets lost yesterday 5-0. And if you guys watched the show yesterday, I was pretty excited. Verlander, 7 innings, like looking great, finally some great pitching.
Due for offense,
due for some
opener,
offense,
all of that,
dude. And we'll get to the offense in a second, right? We'll just walk you through how the Reds here scored 5 runs. Kadai Senga was pitching last night. He was our starter, gave up all 5 earned runs over 5 innings. His final line included giving up 8 hits, 1 walk, only 7 Ks, one of them being a solo home run shot. And it started early against him in the first. He gave up 4 earned runs right in the first. Fraley RBI single, Senzel with a 2 RBI double, and then Newman with another 2 RBI single there, giving up another home run in the 5th to Steer, an absolute towering 427-foot home run too. So it's just Senga coming off one of his best starts against Colorado, I believe, which we won only 1-0, by the way. That game. But it was 6 innings, no earned runs. Senga looked crispy. Going through a lineup again, you're like, oh yeah, it's the Rockies, but still the Rockies have some talent. Certainly you can compare the 2 lineups between the Reds and the Rockies. So you're thinking, all right, Senga, coming out here looking like he did against the Rockies. Absolutely not. It's just first inning, giving up 4 earned runs. Just looking so hittable off the bat. That first RBI single was off of a 96-mile-an-hour 4-seam fastball, kind of over the middle of the plate. Naturally, he starts off, with some cutters. He throws a sweeper. We know the forkball as well. And he's just kind of like missing, right away, literally first 2 pitches are balls, then a foul, and another ball, and then in comes, the 4-seamer for a hit rather. And it just seems like, Senga comes out here. I don't know if it's his like just mentality or something. But he comes into games ice cold and not having any confidence. I mean, again, like the first 2 pitches, like you're pitching out of the strike zone. That you're breaking balls. But I mean, people know your shtick. Like people are anticipating that. You gotta at least try and fool them and throw them in the strike zone. Get them to swing. You can't throw so much out of the strike zone because they know they're gonna take those. And all of a sudden, you're starting off like a 2-0 count, and you got to get a ball over the strike zone. You throw a fastball, and he's sitting fastball, and he hits it. Like, you got to have some confidence in your pitches. You got to have confidence in your forkball to throw it in the strike zone and just get the batter to miss. Or locate your fastball better. I mean, I think it's as simple as that. Gives up 4 runs in the first inning, and then he comes in the second and strikes out the side. So it's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, how do you start a game off, give up 4 runs, and then being crispy through the next 4 innings? Like, This doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you, like, are you not coming in dialed in? Are you cold? Do you not warm up? You have to figure something out, because it's almost every start with you where you come in giving up hits and then you settle in. Like, we don't have time for that, dude. You can't be doing that.
Yeah.
We don't have the pitching. You're not, your pitch count because of that gets so high by the 5th inning, you have to come out and you're useless. So it's just like, that is really infuriating to me, because it's like, obviously the stuff is there, but you're just not ready. You're just not ready for the first inning.
And whether it's poorly executed pitching or poorly executed hitting, it's like, come on. And it's like the Yankees and the Mets, they both have a bunch of veteran players. They've been through this grind before. And it's like, how do you fail so miserably and look at yourself in the mirror in the morning? I really want to know. I really do. I really do. Like the Mets hitters yesterday, same thing as what the Yankees did pretty much. I mean, the Yankees 2 runs were in the 9th inning. It's like, how do you do that? How do you not adapt? Like, what are you doing? Like, how, like, it really makes me almost like question, like, the intelligence of some of these hitters, honestly.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And then, I mean, we'll get to the hitting now for sure. I mean, obviously scoring no runs, giving up, 4 runs in the first, like, whatever, dude, you got to figure it out, find a way to get some hits. You get 6 hits over the course of the game. Obviously, as you know from the score, you score no runs. 33 at bats, 33 chances. You were 6 for 33. Again, reminiscent of what the Yankees did yesterday. Also, as a team, struck out 9 times. 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Lindor was the only one to get a hit with runners in scoring position. And I believe that was when Alvarez gets thrown out in the 7th at home. And we'll talk about that in a second, because I know Buffer was asking about it too. But I mean, you talked about having veteran hitters. Like the Reds used an opener in Derek Law. I mean, honestly,
who's a scrub.
He's
not good.
He's a fucking nobody, bro. I mean, yeah, he's had some good innings out of the bullpen, but I mean, like, geez, you can't hit any of these guys. And you got this dude Ben Lively, 31 years old, literally nothing special. Played his first game of the season yesterday. There was 3 innings, giving up only 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 K. I mean, and you're just grounding out, flying out. I mean, this guy is not good. He's with Kansas City before Cincinnati. His ERA last year was 27.
And like Buffer alluded, to the fact that the Mets, put themselves in a hole, and the analytics were killing the Yankees. Like, is it as easy to say, Tony, that same thing with the Yankees and the Mets, that like games like this, everybody's trying to be the hero? Everybody's trying to just jack one. I think so. Are the Mets are a lot of their outs flyouts? Like, where they're way under it, no shot to get out, terrible launch angle.
Yes. Very rarely you see it, probably really from McNeil or like Nimmo. They have ground outs where they're trying to get the ball in play, or it's like a line drive where a shortstop happens to be there to make a play. But other than that, it literally is that it's flyouts that they just try and just absolutely crush this ball, or they're trying to crush it. They're just swinging a pitch that's way out of the zone. They have no idea what's coming, and they're just trying to hit something. And it's nothing. It's not good. Again, like I said, like that guy Lively, like 3 innings of unearned ball from him is ridiculous. And then on top of that, you get another guy in Sims, 32 years old, another old guy who's not that great. Hasn't had like a lot of experience in the majors, only has 1 season under his belt. Last season with Tampa Bay, his ERA was above a 7. And then same deal with the guy who closes. Another 32-year-old, like, again, like some no-name guy, pitches 3 innings to end the game and not giving up any earned runs. Like, absolutely ridiculous. 4 Ks, only 2 hits in those 3 innings. I mean, this lineup is just not doing anything good. I know Buffer said, you dug yourself a hole, but dug yourself a hole in the first inning.
How are you dug yourself in the hole game because you didn't score a run?
Like, how do you not just get consistently good hits? I mean, you get a lineup that just absolutely sucks last night from top to bottom. Nimmo and Lindor went 1 for 3, 1 for 4, respectively. And then McNeil, ice cold 0 for 4. Alonso, another ice cold 0 for 3. Beatty was 0 for 3. Marte 1 for 4. Vogelback 0 for 4. Kana 1 for 4. Alvarez was 2 for 4. I mean, you had nothing was good. I mean, like Alvarez 2 for 4. That's great. He's been batting well, but like your usual guys like Lindor, especially Lindor and Alonso, those are the type of guys that should be able to hit a home run with guys on base. I mean, I want to say, I think it was the 7th inning or maybe the 8th inning. We had runners at the corners, I think, 1 out, Lindor's up, he strikes out.
But like, not really asking about Lindor specifically, but I was just thinking about this with the poor hitting and poor execution. Like, and I know it, both the Yankees and the Mets, it's not the whole team, but is can we ask the question that for some of the guys with big contracts, maybe Lindor, because obviously he's making a lot, that some of them just like don't care enough? Is that a problem?
I don't know about don't care. I mean, I think the guys
enough. I'm not saying don't care at all.
Right.
Don't care enough.
I mean, I think the guys with the big contracts. I mean, I'm looking at Lindor. I mean, Nimmo certainly cares, and Alonso. I would say those 3 guys care for sure. And you think about guys with big contracts. I mean, yeah, I think those top 3 certainly care.
Right.
And Lindor, I think he's up there in terms of leading shortstops in terms of RBIs in the league, as he did last season too. So again, I mean, the guy isn't unproductive. It's just that in big spots to rally the team, you would expect him to hit a home run. Honestly, that's the type of guy. That's what you're kind of paying him for. Yes, like in big moments when he needs to show up, he shows up and he hits a home run that it can swing momentum of the game. Same thing with Alonso. I mean, those are kind of our power guys at this point. But I mean, obviously they're not doing that. Lindor did strike out twice yesterday. I mentioned that one big spot too. I mean, he was 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. Like 1 for 3. I mean, I guess that's okay. But again, like from him, you want a little bit more. Like you had the most opportunities at the plate with runners in scoring position. Like you're our guy. Like, that's what we want. That's what we want, that setup. You at the plate with people on base. You have the most RBIs out of a shortstop in the league. Like he didn't perform last night.
Stubbornness.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
selfishness too.
They're just not doing well. And I think it's just so tough to string along good hits from individual players because their lineup is so up and down. I mean, like I said, like McNeil hasn't been doing great. Nimmo, okay. As of recently, nothing great. Beatty's been good recently. Obviously, last night, not much. But then, like, you just get to the bottom part of the lineup, who ironically last night did well. But, like, again, like Vogelback has got to get out of there. I don't know how many more times I can say this. 0 for 4 last night. He's your DH. Put in anyone else at this point. The game 2 days ago with Verlander pitching, you put McNeil in left field. You got Kana out of there. Like, I think you should have stuck with that. I don't know why Kana was back in left field.
Yeah.
He was another one. I think in that after Lindor struck out, there was runners on with 2 outs now. He ends up grounding out. Like, he can't buy a hit, that guy. So it's like, get him out of the lineup. Not to mention, I feel like saying this too. Like, he has no arm from left field.
Right. Yeah. It's like, what are we doing?
It's like, why is he playing there? Like, McNeil's a better fit for the outfield. Keep him there. I mean, for now at least. And again, like, it's the same deal. Like I don't know again, like what Buck is expecting, but I think you got to bring up some of the younger guys.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like it's kind of ridiculous. Like just bring them up. I mean, look how Alvarez has been kind of shaping in, like Beatty shaping into a good hitter. By the way, Beatty's looking like a pro at third base too. He's making great plays.
Yeah, and
so is Alvarez.
That's exciting for the players. Exciting for the fans.
I know Buffer was asking about Alvarez getting thrown out at home in the 7th. I think this was off of one of Lindor's hit. Alvarez was on second, and we know, Alvarez is a bit more of a fit catcher. He's got decent speed for a catcher.
But keyword for a catcher.
Yeah, for a catcher is definitely the key phrase there. He was sent from third to home. He was kind of thrown out by like a large margin there. But I will say, I mean, like Henry Ramos, maybe something that, Alvarez doesn't experience in practice is probably an outfielder that can throw. Ramos threw an absolute bullet from right field to home plate, like on a dime, like literally frozen on a rope, like perfectly to the catcher's glove. And he put the catcher in good position to make the out, I'm all for aggressive base running. Alvarez has it. Again, he's speedier than you would expect. So I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, in that instance right there, I mean, that was an inning ending out at home. That is gut wrenching. You hate that. It probably shouldn't have happened. But I mean, for me, I'm all for aggressive base running.
Yeah. I mean, what other choice do you have?
Honestly,
you're not in
it's the 7th inning. You have no runs. Yeah. So I don't really blame him that much. And again, Ramos threw like the perfect throw. And that's exactly right. Ramos needed to throw the perfect throw to get Alvarez out, and he did. But Furtho says Marte hasn't been the same since his sliding accident with the Marlins. His head crashed into a third baseman knee, caused a neck strain. I mean, in my opinion, I thought Marte looked a little bit slow to start off the season as well. I think there was even a play yesterday too. Maybe it was in the first. A high fly ball hit to right field, and he plays it off the wall. And I don't know, dude. It was just in my head. I'm thinking like, why didn't he sprint it out and try and catch that ball? Like, it just seemed like he was like okay with playing it off the wall as opposed to being an aggressive outfielder. And Nimmo was right there too to cover. So it was just like, why not take the chance and try to get the out?
Well, but that's the thing. And I mentioned this a while ago. You can't rely on taxing positions to have players in their mid to late 30s.
Yeah.
It's not a good plan. It's gonna come back to bite. We see it happening with Scherzer on the mound.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that comes back to bite. And one thing that I'm just thinking too, and I know you have it at least on the mound, and I guess in the bullpen, but you don't have it on offense. Like missing ingredients, both teams. Like, do you believe in experience? Do you think like in like setting an example, leadership, and that the fact that the Yankees and Mets have struggled, especially in big spots the last couple of years, is it because they don't have anybody in the lineup that's done it before?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Again, like you mentioned, keyword there is obviously in the lineup.
We know about the mound with Verlander and Scherzer, and then Robertson in the bullpen.
Right. No one's obviously been there, and I think it takes someone, who has experience, right? But it can also like also still has it, like can lead by example mentally, like in the clubhouse, in the dugout before games, whatever, rally the team. But then also like when it like push comes to shove, like can get a clutch hit, like a clutch 2-out hit or something like that. Just don't have it.
Yeah,
just don't have something.
And I know, like, how do you get more experience? You get there.
Yeah,
but it's like that's what I'm just wondering. Is it like because I feel like this is the problem of getting over the hump. I think it's one of my most puzzling things that I've ever faced, honestly. And I know it sounds like silly, whatever, but I just can't figure it out. That's why I'm thinking that leadership is important. Tone is important. Leading by example is important. And that, I guess, even though some of these guys are good, some of these guys are all-stars, but they didn't have the right person teaching them the way.
Yeah. I mean, again, Buck's never really been there.
Obviously, Boone hasn't been there.
Yeah.
Cashman's been there, but he was riding the coattails of Gene Michael. Tony.
Yeah, dude, super tough. Obviously, something, a gut-wrenching loss, certainly for the Mets on the road here. I mean, they're 18-20 now, so 2 games under.
How do you fix this season? How do you turn it around if it's up to you? I know the young guys, obviously. Besides that, anything else?
I mean, as of right now, there's not much more you can do, I suppose. I mean, you're just kind of like, again, like Senga should be better than what he is. Like, you have to fix. I think it starts with your pitching, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bring up those young guys. Try and, again, put pressure on some other guys from the lineup to even produce better than they are.
Show accountability. Yeah. Show that you're going to be benched if you don't do your job.
Yeah, of course. Like get, you mentioned having old guys in the outfield. I mean, it's just not good. Get them out of there.
Yeah.
And then same deal. I mean, you're kind of like, I think you have to have some type of talk with your pitchers. Get Verlander to talk to Senga something, because it's something mental with Senga for sure. Yeah. It has to be.
But also, I mean, and hopefully this isn't the case with Senga, but we've seen it. Sometimes these guys come over from Japan or other leagues, and it's like they can't perform the same. Kaigawa.
Yeah. I mean, it is, but again,
Dice-K struggled. He was even on the Mets at the end of his career.
But again, you look at the rest of his game, the rest of his game wasn't bad.
But I'm saying struggling with consistency.
Yeah.
And if you think about it too, I think we kind of take for granted that these foreign players coming over, that they've all had a lot of success. when you really think about it, there hasn't been that many.
No.
Tanaka was okay, but was
Yeah.
he as good as we thought he was going to be?
No.
Daisuke for a couple years,
Mhm.
okay, not as good as we thought it would be. You think back to Hideo Nomo, he was like really good, and he almost was like one of the last guys. Kuroda was underrated; he was pretty good. But there hasn't been a ton, so I think it just speaks to the difficulty of making that transition from the KBO or whatever league it is.
I do like people I prefer. I think it was your boy Al, right? Was
Yeah.
talking about getting Bauer to mix things up. Like, why not? I think you have nothing to lose there.
Right.
Again, like, it's not like, I mean, Joey Lucchesi hasn't proved himself to earn a spot. Like, Tyler McGill hasn't proved himself to earn a spot.
Right.
You have Scherzer, who's still hurt. Scherzer, if I'm Buck, super short leash.
Yeah.
Like, if you come back,
Is he pitching tonight?
No.
Okay. When is he pitching? Do we know?
I'm not sure, honestly, because again, like, he woke up yesterday, the spasms like weren't gone, sort of deal. Let's see. I believe it was McGill tonight, and then you're back with Lucchesi tomorrow, and then undecided for Sunday. So maybe Sunday.
Yeah.
But again, like, if he comes in and he's like, "Yeah, I'm good to go, I'm healthy," and doesn't throw well, I mean, you gotta get the fuck out of there.
He has to go to the IL.
Total liability. Put him on the IL. Bring in Bauer.
Yep.
Try him out.
I know he's gonna be okay. I know he can pitch to an ERA in the threes. I'm thoroughly convinced of that. I don't care how much it's been since he's pitched in the majors. I don't care.
But first says Senga only pitches well with 8 days between starts.
That's insane.
But again, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, how could your first inning be so shitty?
Yeah.
And your
you got
second
extra
inning,
time. Didn't he have extra time before the start?
He did have extra time. And then your second inning, strike out the side. Third inning, like 2 strikeouts, a ground. Like, you're just on it after that. Like, it's not like there's something wrong with him. It's just, again, you're not ready for the game, dude. Like, you're just not coming in first inning dialed in. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I'm trying. I know maybe, of course, he's Stroll every time it was in, but there was somebody more recent than Sonny Gray whose ERA in the first inning, or maybe it was Cole actually last year in the first inning. Yeah, he had that problem, and now obviously he hasn't.
Right.
But some people do. But it's like it's just like with the hitting, make adjustments.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the problem. These guys are so stubborn, too cocky, or too proud of their ability. And they ignore crucial executional things, and that's why things like yesterday happen.
Yeah. It just sucks, dude.
Yeah, it does. And do you feel like for you to be like jacked up Dan Campbell style that they have to go like, I don't know, 15-5
in the next 20? Yeah.
Then you're back, you're ready.
Oh yeah, dude.
But it's like that's
it's not going to happen.
It's like a ping pong match.
Yeah.
Both the Yankees and the Mets. I know records are slightly different, but it's the same thing. Hot, cold, and then anything difficult. God forbid anything is difficult.
Yeah.
We just can't handle it.
I mean, the Mets have been playing some of the worst teams in the league, dude.
That's even worse, Tony.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on, dude? I mean, like the Reds, the Tigers, the Rockies, the Nationals.
Yeah, and then
unbelievable.
What happens when
dude.
you have to play like the top teams in the league?
Literally, I'm kind of glad that our series against the Braves got fucking rained out. That weekend, dude.
Yeah.
Literally, after the Nationals, we're playing the Rays, so that should be pretty interesting, dude. But it's just so stupid, dude.
So stupid. And I'm just curious from your perspective, like, thinking about last year, thinking about the struggles of this year. Like, getting over the hump wise, other than what I said, I mean, is there anything else that you see from your perspective in, both the Yankees and the Mets, but just in terms of the ingredient that teams, like the Braves, like the Dodgers, like the Astros have? What is there something else? Am I missing something, or is it just come down to execution, or is it not the right group of guys? What is it?
I mean, it's tough. Again, I mean, look at the team like the Braves. I mean, the one thing they probably have more so than any other team is depth.
Right.
I mean, if one guy isn't doing well, they pull him, they put some guy in injuries, they bring up some guy who's just fucking great already. I mean, if you're looking at the Mets specifically, I feel like they just really need someone to rally them, honestly, like a player to be like, to go on a streak, to be like the face of the team right now. Again, like you're
Hitting contagious.
literally, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
again, like thinking probably the last time I felt like so dominant, we were on a good stretch was probably our West Coast road trip when we like did well against the Padres, did well against the Giants, did well against the A's, took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, I think too. And I mean, again, like there was that game against the A's where Lindor just absolutely went off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And hit like
Man.
4 home runs, 7
it's like-
RBIs, dude. Like rallied the fucking team. Like
Yeah.
that was a great, like that's the energy you want to bring to it. You're hitting in the two slot too. Like Nimmo's getting on base. Oh, Lindor's up. He's gonna fucking hit a homer. It's gonna be 2-run homer automatically, dude. Like that's the vibes, the energy they need right now. They don't need the top half of the lineup to go to not to be hitless.
Yeah.
Like that's not good, dude.
You're a major league player.
Yeah.
And also I think you are right though, depth wise. And I think the Mets have a similar problem. But so many times, like you look on Twitter, a couple guys are getting a day off, and fans call it a punt lineup. And we both have payrolls well over $200 million.
Right.
You're telling me that you have to have punt lineups? What is wrong with the execution of creating that roster? How is it that porous? I know there's injuries, but then what are you doing with the scouting department? Are they just getting hammered every night?
I don't
what are
understand.
they doing?
Yeah, honestly, it makes no sense because again, I mean, you look at the team like the Rays who have had injuries and still were able to string along wins.
Yeah, and it's like if you don't have as good of a scout that they have and player development, then get them.
Yeah.
Get the guys
Like
out
fire
of there.
your guy.
How do you not see how terrible your execution in that area is? And I've always thought that is so important. But it's like for the Mets and Yankees, not be like I mean, really, if you think about it, I mean, like over the past 10 years, you think about the wave of the big three with the Mets, but other than that, and it's the same thing with the Yankees, like just maybe Luis Severino, that's it. How do you not develop a starting pitcher?
Yeah.
Well, that is an embarrassment.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's tough. And one thing to kind of switch the tone to more of a lighter note. I'm curious how you would have responded to this. So the other day,
Oh gosh.
I was golfing, paired up with this random guy, nice guy and everything. And he randomly, I told him, about, the sports report and everything. And I guess he doesn't really like watch baseball that much, but he saw that the Mets were on the other day. And he goes to me, and you would absolutely lose it. He goes, "Did you see the pitcher the other day? He hit 2 home runs for the Mets. What's his name? Syndergaard or something?" Like he said, Syndergaard. And I was like, "What?" And I'm like, pitchers haven't hit in like 3 years.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh, it must have been like a classic game or something." And I'm just like, yeah, that's probably what it was. It wouldn't seem like I was calling him out, but it's like,
I mean, how do you even respond to that, dude? It's like, dude,
wow. But
they're like, what? Why are you talking?
He definitely was embarrassed, though.
That is embarrassing, dude. He was probably trying to like,
But you would have felt bad, like a 65-year-old guy, like
Yes,
kind of
yeah.
being like, what you said just makes no sense.
Yeah, I would have felt bad.
And did Noah Syndergaard ever even hit 2 home runs?
No, there's no way.
Maybe he gave up 2 home runs. Maybe he definitely didn't hit 2 home runs.
I don't know.
That was crazy, Tony. But anyway, so I mean, we almost, our problems from yesterday almost took up a whole hour. Isn't that something?
Yeah, dude.
But you know what it shows, Tony? It shows that we care. So I really hope this weekend, for both of our sakes, that we see that they care. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it's everybody, and the main COD guys, like I get it. I know for the Yankees, I know for the Mets, they care. I understand that, but maybe the upper middle, maybe they don't care, or they don't care enough, and maybe some of the guys that we think care don't care enough too.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible, dude. Just sucks.
What? Barnes just lost a customer.
Before Barnes just lost a customer, yeah, with your boy in the golf course.
Wow. he used to do roofing anyway, so he.
Oh, that's funny.
He might actually look us up though, because I told him like, yeah, because he didn't understand how it works, and I'm saying all you have to do is just search Downtime TV Sports Port. It'll come right up, and he just keeps going. Well, the sports column on the left side of the page, I have to click that first, and I'm just like,
what?
Yeah, first of all, that didn't make any sense. What is this, ESPN.com?
Is he reading a newspaper?
I don't know, but I'm just like, just search Downside TV
Like, just
Sports Report.
Google it, just type it in.
It's not that hard.
I know. Some people just don't do that, dude. Prefer, I know you're looking. Says Judge got his bag. Why would he care?
No, that's fine. That's a prefer hype up. I know Judge care. I know what has he been back? 2 games?
I mean,
3 games?
maybe
No,
he's
2
one of those
games.
guys who you think cares, doesn't care as much.
He's been back 3 games. He missed some time with an injury. I know he's going to be fine. It's annoying waiting, but once again, the guys can't all look at him, Tony.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It. So, what would you say, honestly? Because I know you're better at handling it than me. Right now, this stretch for the Mets driving you crazy, 1 to 10. What would you honestly say?
Driving me crazy.
Where it's like you're just so infuriated,
honestly,
it's so ridiculous, and you just had it.
I mean, angry, infuriated is a 10, honestly.
Yeah.
It really is that. Like, I'm that angry about it.
Yeah.
You know, am I like nervous about the entire season? I mean, that's not as high as the anger.
Yeah.
Because I think we'll settle in a little bit. I mean, but I mean, it's just, again, like the stretch we have coming up now, like it's like Rays, Guardians, Cubs, and I think maybe Braves. But it's just like, I mean, if you couldn't get business done in the last 2 series, it's just like, how could you have any confidence or like, yeah, man, we can steal a couple games and win a couple series? Like, I just can't even see us winning these games right now.
And the whole issue of fixing the team in general, getting over the hump, finding the missing ingredients. Like, do you agree with me though that it's like one of the tougher problems and more confusing things that you've faced in your whole life?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
What is it? Yeah, absolutely, dude. Especially being like out here, you know?
Yeah.
Like if I was in the clubhouse, I think I could figure it out.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I will say, you know, one thing that we don't see, like you mentioned in the clubhouse, is culture.
Mm-hmm.
Culture is big, but I mean, I think it seems like Buck is the right guy for the Mets. But like you said, is it a problem that he hasn't been there?
Something I can think of.
And what did Prefer say?
Prefer comes in on a lighter note, says, I'm happy baseball is happening. We got shut down in 2020 and then the players strike in 2021. So he's just excited there's baseball happening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And don't get, like I said, I'm not a moper, but I want to figure it out. And I know that I deserve better. And so does the rest of the Yankee fans. So do the rest of the Mets fans. So let's set the tone this weekend and let's be feared once again. New York baseball needs to be feared once again. And I know you said this, but you know I'm just all over the place this morning and just tight. Who are the Mets playing this weekend?
Nationals.
Okay, and this is home or no?
No, we are still on the road.
Still on the road.
Yeah.
Who do we got tonight?
Tonight should be Tyler McGill.
Tyler McGill, opposed by
I think it's just some young. Oh no, Gore.
Mackenzie Gore. 10
dude.
strikeouts last time against the Mets.
Yes.
So I mean, what are your? You know, I know, like you said, you don't see how they're going to do it, but I mean, just specifically with this game, and not just to be optimistic for the sake of being optimistic, but deep down, how do you really feel about tonight? Honestly,
I mean, I feel nervous about tonight. Again, like thinking about what this guy did the last time against the Mets, like 10 Ks, no earned runs, it was 6 innings. Since then, you know, he actually had 2 decent starts, I suppose. Really only 1 decent start against Arizona. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks. So the strikeout stuff seems to be there. Doesn't give up really a lot of home runs. He's given up 3 home runs in his last 5 starts. So that's not like horrible, I suppose. And they were just all solo shots. So like, you know, that's good because he doesn't give up a lot of hits, it seems. But I mean, he had 1 clunker, it looks like, against actually LA. He only lasted 3 2/3, gave up 2 earned runs, and then 1 4-inning start against Chicago. He got 4 earned runs, 7 hits. So I don't know, pretty interesting. It does seem like he still fans a lot of players. In that start against the Angels, 3 2/3, he had 6 strikeouts.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. So he has a strikeout pitch he goes to,
right,
you know, and it's effective. So I mean, batters just can't get behind in the count, honestly, because he'll probably go to that strikeout pitch and strike out the Mets 10 times again. So, you know, I think unfortunately a big key here is patience at the plate. Let Mackenzie Gore, like, if he's throwing balls, like, let him get his pitch count high. Let's go into the Nationals bullpen. Because again, like Tyler McGill, I mean, how much actual confidence do you have in him to pitch like 6 innings of 1 earned run ball? Like, probably not. You're gonna have to score 4 or 5 runs probably to win, realistically tonight. So let's try and focus on getting some offense going.
And is it kind of like at this point, like you're gonna take him tonight, but if like they get swept this weekend, like that's it. That's it. You're not leading with the Mets pick wise.
Well,
anymore.
what's our records at right now?
So sorry, hold on, let me just go to this before I say it wrong. So you're up 40-39.
So I got 1 game lead here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take the Mets tonight. I'll give them the 1 game right now. But yeah, like you said, I think if they give me a loss tonight,
and get embarrassed this weekend, you're done.
There's no confidence, dude.
Yeah.
Again, especially like this is now like after the Nationals here, we have tougher teams we're facing.
Yeah.
So it's just like
you're not gonna do it now.
Like, come on, dude. Yeah, exactly. So, but I'll say it. Give me a Mets victory here. I say they win. Let's say 5-3.
Who's setting the tone offensively?
Honestly, I think it's gonna be Nimmo. Leading off, setting the tone, getting on base. I think he'll have like a 3 for 5 night, maybe a 3 for 4 night. Give me Lindor with a couple RBI singles, maybe. And then Alvarez with a home run. And I say that's how we get those 5 runs.
And is it? I know I just keep going back to this, but like I'm including you with this, but like last couple of years, like. Would you consider like what we've had to go through like traumatizing or no?
I would say starting with last season, that's where I think traumatizing,
because you believed, you were fooled. You thought, this is the time, we're winning the World Series, we're doing it, we're doing it. We have the horses, we have the owner finally,
dude. Yeah, and even with the shitty end of the season, we're in the wild card. We can still get it. Don't worry. We've been here before in the wild card. Made it. It's dude. No.
Scherzer's gonna pitch great.
Dude.
It really. I honestly feel like I could write a book, Tony. I'm not kidding. On the last couple of years, just because I feel like I'm just so just in the moment, and I don't take a chance to reflect back. And then, I mean, we could go through all the shorts and all the old episodes, but it really has been a tough time for as much as like life is great in general, but just specifically with the Yankees,
right?
It has been a struggle and a half, a wave of emotions, honestly. Like,
yeah, dude, it's been tough. And real quick, Buffer does mention that Gore was a Padre and was traded for Juan Soto last year.
Was kidding, because I feel like we've mentioned that like 6 times, and he's watching every day.
I mean, maybe
that's one of the ha-ha.
I get. I mean, it's possible. Maybe he just was trying to be helpful, but I don't know. But again, just looking at Gore, his last year with the Padres, which was obviously his first year in the league. He's 24 years old right now, so a young guy. But 13 starts with the Padres. He went 4-4. ERA of a 4.5 over 70 innings, had 37 walks, 72 Ks, 35 earned runs, gave up 66 hits. So, I mean, yeah, I understand he's young, maybe adapting here on a Nationals team where there's not a whole lot of pressure, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I guess as a younger guy, he's improved his game as he goes on. But I mean, again, like with an experienced lineup like that we have, with contact we could make, like there's no reason Mackenzie Gore is striking out 10 people. Like, come on.
Yeah, and it's like even really good pitchers can be hit, and it's there's nothing else. That's it.
Literally nothing else.
You could do it. It's not that crazy.
And he's really not that. He throws fastballs 60% of the time.
But
so,
and I just that obviously bodes well, and that's another thing. I feel like sometimes like you see teams aggressively do it. I'm sure the Rays do it, but like sometimes like to really snap you out of it, you got to just send the fastball, because more time. How are you timing an off speed pitch might be the one of the hardest things in life. Honestly, with a lot of movement.
Yeah. Especially his slider actually touches 88 miles an hour.
I will be pretty shocked though if he has another dominant game against the Mets. I mean, this offense is due to bust out. It really is.
Yep.
It really is. So
Refer, by the way, makes predictions: Orioles, Rangers, Astros tonight.
Yeah, do you think he honestly stopped fading the Yankees because he almost feels bad at this point?
It's honestly very possible.
Which is kind of,
Never kick a man while he's down,
humanizing prefer a little bit.
Orioles, interesting pick. I mean, they're pretty good. Also, I think they have the second lowest budget. No, budget. I think it's something like 66 million. Rays have like 71.
And I know that teams that have been bad, you get a first overall pick in Adley Rutschman, but it's like they still have just done a better job of collecting talent.
They have 3 really good young guys.
Yeah, you got Rutschman, you got Gunnar Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the third guy?
Isn't there a pitcher?
John Means, but is he injured?
No, it's not Means. It's not Kyle Bradish, is it?
No, I don't think he's that good. I'm trying to think who it is. Orioles rotation, you can pull it up.
Oh no, it's not. It's Mountcastle.
Ryan Mountcastle. But I guess this year he's doing really well, but I don't think like he was expected.
Last year he was okay though.
Yeah. Cedric Mullins is obviously good, but he's older now. Not older, but like he's not young.
Yeah.
So, and then Austin Hayes I think isn't bad either, but anyway, so I'm obviously I'm gonna.
Oh, maybe Dean Kramer.
I'm gonna. He's not that good.
No, he's not that good at all.
I'm gonna trust in Cole. I think he's got to be really pissed off. Like, he comes here, was fresh off, losing in the World Series with the Astros. I really think, and he was a Yankee fan growing up, and I think he just envisioned at this point. I mean, you think about it, his first season being in 2020. So what is this? Is 2020, 2021? This is his fourth season. And the first one was even a full one, but he envisioned a championship by now. And then it's your 4th year. It's not even mid-May, like I've said, and you're 9 games back, and you got embarrassed last night. So I think he's going to be almost as fired up as he was when he pitched that complete game shutout against the Astros in 2021. I'm not kidding. Yeah. I really do. And I actually do think he's going to start and finish this one. I really do. I think he's going to tell Boone to F off, and he's going to pitch a complete game, 4 hits, 1 run, 14 strikeouts. Offensively, I'll keep it conservative. 4-0, and Judge finally hits that home run that we've been waiting for. Volpe, strong game. 3 steals, 4-0 Yankees. And then you do that, you win 1 over the weekend, being conservative, and it ends up being okay. Do I want to win all 3 games? Sure, but I know that it will be pretty solid at this point after dropping yesterday to split this series.
Yeah.
So, that's my prediction there. What else you got?
My next pick here. I mean, dude, I got a feeling. Honestly, I have a feeling the Astros are going to lose to the White Sox tonight. So I'm not going to pick that because I was just looking at Prefer's picks, maybe piggybacking off of one of his. But instead, I am going to take the. Oh no, dude. I guess give me the Angels here. Give me the Angels here on the mound. You got Tyler Anderson.
Due for a bounce back.
Really due for a bounce back. His last 5 starts have actually been super shitty. And I think against maybe a Cleveland lineup, you look at what Anderson has done. Obviously, we know what he was like last year, but over his past 5 starts, he's giving up, 11, 12, 13, 14, 19 earned runs over his last 5
it's been
starts.
Tough. It's been definitely tough.
So super tough for him. You think of, a team like the Guardians, who I feel like, they can have good hitters, like a lineup that is solid, but Ramirez leads their team in everything offensively in terms of home runs, average, RBIs. He's 4 home runs. He's batting .270, 20 RBIs. So, not like a whole ton of offensive production there. You look at, obviously, about Cleveland's pitching. They beat Detroit most recently only 2-0. You look at how they won their games. They scored more than 2 runs only in one game against the Twins. They scored 4. So I feel like LA could score, more than 3 runs here against Cleveland, and I'd say they win this one. I'm going to call it 4-2.
4-2.
Yeah, dude, why not?
So I'm gonna go with the Astros.
Wow.
They're facing Kopech and the White Sox in Chicago. But the whole thing is, the White Sox are a train wreck. Kopech. One of those examples, Tony. I think we can agree at this point that they messed up. They had it right. Dominant multi-inning reliever.
Yeah.
Can't be a starter. He had the success as a reliever. He was dynamite, and I think they could really use that right now. And it's like sometimes I think because some guys highly touted, they have a good arm. You were thinking of them as a starter, and then they get that opportunity in the bullpen. You see it's a clear fit, but you feel like you're wasting them by having them as a reliever. And it's like, aren't they better off being a dominant reliever than a mediocre starter?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
Astros have been struggling. I mean, we have a better record than the
Yeah.
Astros, which is funny, but sure, they're probably like 2 games back instead of 9. But anyway, and I think it's like JP France, I want to say, is starting for them.
Yes. Yeah. New guy.
But we know the Astros, they churn out pitchers. Luis Garcia out for the season. Tommy John,
That's
didn't
tough.
bode well for my fantasy team. However, I think he'll give him a good performance. And I think this is like they're due to go on a run, as much as I obviously don't want that. But I think they're going to pound the White Sox tonight. Honestly, I'm going to say 10-3, Kopech, 7 earned over 3 1/3.
Love it, dude. My next pick here, I'm going to go I'm going to go with the Brewers, dude, honestly. Corbin Burns in the mound.
Did he pitch well last time or no?
He made it, I think, maybe 6 innings, 2 earned runs.
Okay, because he had been struggling here. It was over 4. Now he's under 4.
Yes, he's back under 4, 3.8. Yeah, his last outing against the Giants, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Before that, Angels, 6 innings, 1 earned run. Before that, struggling going deep. Gave up 2 earned runs against Boston, lasted 5 innings. Same deal with Seattle. With the strikeouts not as high as you would imagine, but we've seen some dominant performances from him, even this season alone. I think against Kansas City, perfect time for a little bounce back action. Let's see some length out of him. Quite a few starts ago, we saw him throw 8 unearned innings against Diamondbacks. So I'm gonna say he throws 8 innings tonight, 1 earned run, maybe a solo shot in the 8th, gets pulled. Final line, 8 earned runs. 8 innings. 3 hits, no walks, 1 earned run, and I'll give him 8 Ks as Milwaukee will win this game against the Royals. Say 4-1.
See the Royals gutted it out yesterday?
Yeah.
Singer actually pitched well.
Crazy, man.
I knew it. Speaking of pitching well, I think Martin Perez will pitch well against the A's. 4-1, 3.86, going against one of my favorites, former Yankee farmhand Kenny Waldichuk, 1-2, 7.25. We think we're upset. Imagine if you're a diehard A's fan, you're gonna lose your team. They're gonna go to Vegas.
What do you do?
And there's no hope. Like I feel like they don't even have any good prospects.
Nothing.
And
there's nothing
it just
good
feels
there.
like there's just nothing. They're not even close. So I think the Rangers pound them. Honestly, I'm gonna say 7-1. Perez, 5th win of the season. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go this weekend. Honestly, not try to make me happy. Your honest prediction of the 3 games this weekend for the Yankees. We got Cole going today. How many are they winning? Honestly, Tony, I'm not gonna get tight.
McClanahan's pitching tomorrow, right?
So
yeah,
like no chance,
and
basically,
then,
right or no? Almost no chance. Unless they pitch a gem themselves.
And then I'm looking at Sunday. You got Eflin versus Schmidt.
So Cortez though could outduel McClanahan.
I would say they could be even.
Yeah,
it could be just a real pitcher's duel that day.
I feel like Eflin, I know he's pitching well, but he's always sucked. I mean, didn't the Mets used to knock him around?
Yeah, the Mets used to knock him around. Dude, last year they had his number on the Phillies.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Tampa Bay picks him up and he's good for them, which is absolutely ridiculous. He was 4-1, a sub-3 ERA. He's their highest paid athlete, by the way. Makes $11 million a year.
Insane.
Unbelievable. So I don't know, dude. I mean, I think 2 out of 3 is certainly realistic there for the Yankees.
Wow. I mean, they played him well in Tampa. That's why it's like you hope that that maybe I'm overreacting,
right?
But I don't know. I just think if you're gonna lose, though, I know losing is losing. But don't be lifeless. Take some pride in yourself.
Oh.
And then what Mets Nationals, honestly, are you what would you say confidence level of the 2 out of 3?
8%.
Are you kidding?
2 out of 3, honestly, dude. Yeah. I mean, again, like just thinking of how they pitched against us the last time we faced them. I don't know. I mean, Trevor Williams, the last time he pitched against us, actually did pretty well. Gore, obviously, we know did well. On Sunday, it looks like they're pitching Irvin.
Cole Irvin?
Jake Irvin, who has 2 starts this season, most recently against the Giants, 6 1/3, no earned runs, dude. So he has a sub-1 ERA, just over 2 starts, though, but still. I don't know, dude, kind of tough. And again, our pitching, I mean, no confidence in our pitching. Lucchesi, McGill, undecided on Sunday. I mean, it really depends. I mean, if Tyler McGill goes 4 innings or 5 innings, we use our bullpen up on a Friday, and then Sunday we're trying to do a bullpen game. Maybe Scherzer's starting. We don't know. Like, I don't know. How could I have much confidence? I got none, dude.
Tough that it's May. It's the beginning of May, and we have to deal with this
against the Nationals.
But I don't know. Maybe it means better times are around the corner, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
I think this has to be like divisional previews aside, the longest baseball segment.
I think so too, dude. We did start with the golf, though.
We did start. I think it was 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah.
On the golf, and then an hour and 10 on the baseball, which leaves us with about 5 minutes to talk about the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot. Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan's skull. Oh, my goodness. That's the top right back. Terrified and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliance from Igor Shesterkin. It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
The Hurricanes defeat the Devils in overtime to reach the Eastern Conference Finals 3-2 in what was an exciting game.
Very exciting game.
And how much of it were you able to catch?
Probably like the tail end of the second and the third period.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was nice. Dude.
So, and kind of what we had expected, the Devils went with Schmid. Of
yeah.
course, he was a lot better than Vanacek. We've seen that. Devils got on the board first with a Mercer goal. Slavin with the answer in the second, only a minute in. Timo Meyer, power play goal, made it 2-1. Brett Burns, the equalizer, made it 2-2. Scoreless third period. And Jesper Fast probably has his name on a couple billboards in Raleigh, North Carolina today.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And the Hurricanes, despite the injuries, despite the up and down season, are going to the Eastern Conference Finals on the doorstep, Tony, of reaching the Stanley Cup Finals. We know Chokery's pumped up. So, hey, I mean, everyone else has had to go through the ringer, but at least we can say that at least Chokery has an opportunity here. And I just feel like I feel differently than if it was the Islanders, if it was the Devils, if it was the Bruins. Like, I'm not tight at all that the Hurricanes have a chance to win a cup, even though they're in our division, right? They don't feel like a rival.
Well, they're in our
conference. Yeah. But I'm saying they don't feel like a rival.
No, they don't feel like a rival.
So it's like, I kind of want to see him go as far as he can. How about you? Like, I know it's like, it doesn't like matter.
No,
like,
I mean,
what we say, but-
it does. I mean, again, like as someone who respects the game of hockey in general, I mean, it's nice to see them have their hard work pay off. You know, the Hurricanes as an organization has come a really long way. You know, when you think about what they looked like a few years ago, there are some former Rangers on there. Jesper Foss being one of them. Brady Shea. Derek Stepan as well.
Brady Shea,
yes, dude, who had a great series, by the way.
Yeah.
And you know about Ranta as well. So I mean, they're a great team. Certainly one of the better teams too. Like around the hockey league, they were certainly feared, you know, a lot. And I do want to get to Michael's comment from way earlier.
Something about the Guardians of Galaxy.
Yeah. He did say though, let's go Devils. They'll be back better next year. Also, best sports show. This is way better than Guardians of the Galaxy.
So it clunker last night.
3. It was bad. It wasn't as bad, I think, as Mike is gonna say.
Every time you guys go to the movies, you say the movie's awful.
Right. Again, I don't want to put people in like on the hot seat or anything, but you know, Michael has chosen the movie a few times, like in a row. So
problem with society though. Can't put out good movies.
No, yeah. Again, like it's just not, I don't know. I feel like a lot of times, like you, especially with those movies, it's like the big box office Marvel movie, like it's not going to be like perfect. It's not going to be. It's made to make money, like to appeal to mass people. Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, there was some bright spots, like there were some good looks, but you got to tune in to Screen Time at noon today to really hear us break it down.
And you, one last thing that I was going to ask you is, do you think it's because we've seen everything already? So that just producers these days have a very tough task?
Yeah, I mean, it is, and especially this is like the 3rd installment of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, like
series.
How many times you going back to the wall? What is this, Rocky?
Dude, yeah, literally, it's like the same shtick over and over again. You can only do it a few times before it gets like kind of annoying. So you know, we'll again, we'll talk at noon. Got a lot to say about it.
We might just like stay on the air and just get the Screen Time personnel.
Honestly, at this point. But yeah, so obviously Devils, a hard fought series. In my opinion, I think they could have won this game. I think they totally fucking blew it.
Yeah. Well, they blew it with the Vanacek thing. I think they might have been leading in the series if they didn't do that.
Literally, but even this game by itself, they had like, I want to say twice, maybe 3 times, where a Devil player had the puck in a totally wide open net or a one-on-one situation. I think there was one play, I forget who it was, made a phenomenal play in the offensive zone, like one-on-one, bullied some guy on Carolina, able to get the puck out, centers it, and Andrej Palat, is just in front of the net, alone with the puck. A veteran player hoisted the cup 3 times with the Lightning. Great player, scores a lot of goals, and just kind of chokes a little bit. Against Anderson, definitely could have had a goal there. Another time where Jack Hughes, phenomenal centering pass, and Timo Meier just shoots it wide, misses a wide open net on one side. So I think the Devils, I understand, like, you know, yes, like they proved a lot to themselves this season. They showed like that they're a formidable opponent, that they can go far next season. It would be interesting to see what the team looks like next season. But I mean, a youthful talent that really rallied around each other. You know, the entire youth of the team did. Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, they both showed a lot of grit as leaders of the team as well. They played physical, they played hard, they played fast. In my opinion, I mean, I'm not a Devils fan, but like I was disappointed yesterday because like they had a chance to win yesterday. Like they should have won, dude. Brent Burns like scoring 30 seconds left in the second period to tie the game up. Like it's tough, dude. So tough. Of course, obviously Carolina is the better team though, that, you know, so they won, move on. Good on them.
What's interesting? Them in Florida last year were like the top 2 teams in the East. Both had earlier exits than expected. And then here we are. They're probably going to play in the conference final.
I know it's pretty crazy to see that, and to again to think about like the curse of teams who do great in the regular season who have early exits.
They learn something and then they return the next year. You think about UVA lose to Baltimore County as a 16th seed and then win the championship next year. Same exact thing.
Michael coming in here. It was horrible, Brian. The movie, Brian, you would pay us to leave.
I know I would.
They are the top movies out there. What do you want? They are the top movies out there. What do you want? I'm thinking views. People are taking Guardians, not whatever else is out there. Atlantica, the Book of Enetium, will be the DTV game changer, he says.
Any insight on that?
Yeah, it's like a screenplay or that Mike wrote back in the day, or a book, I should say.
That he wants to make a movie?
Yeah, definitely has been an idea thrown around. But first is your thoughts on Brandon Marshall floats coming out of retirement to play with Aaron Rodgers.
It's one of those things. Like, people say stuff it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, like I'm saying, he's been. I mean, what's he been out of the league for at this point? 3 years, 4 years?
I mean, they just picked up Cobb, didn't they?
Yeah, he played last year,
but
and
he's
also,
like,
I mean,
come
yeah,
on,
honestly, the one thing I'll give you there is Brandon Marshall probably could match Randall Cobb's production. Like, I'll give you that.
Cobb sucks. How old is he?
But he's got to be 35, so maybe 36. But yeah,
Like, why? Like, I don't know why the Jets did that. It was so weird.
idiotic.
They're not going to use him. There's no way they
Rodgers
even in there,
to appease him.
See, that's not a good look, dude. It's not a good look. Michael Theophil, Jack
Toothless
Hughes
is the best player in the league.
Best player in the league. I mean, you could argue that, I suppose. I mean, I think on the stat sheet, he certainly isn't the top player in the league, but obviously, like I said, he showed us a lot this season. So,
yeah, but also, last night, Stars 5-2 over the Kraken.
Yeah, baby.
They take that 3-2 lead. Hintz with 2 goals and assists. Pavelski, goal and assist. Odinger, a great game. All of it adds up to the Stars, 1 game away from reaching the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I mean, we said it yesterday. Well, at least I said it because I think you said Kraken would win. But the Stars need one thing, which is where their big players to show up. Hintz was the guy we talked about having a phenomenal game, I think, in their last one against the Kraken. 2 goals and assist yesterday. He was looking mean, honestly. I actually did pull up a
clip that you wanted to play.
A clip that I wanted to play. Real quick, dude. This is actually Hintz' second goal of the night, I believe. Totally great starting pass. It's gonna be super quick, Brian. Don't worry.
Tony sensing some antsiness over here.
You're gonna see some play here. Hintz is right here in front of the net. By the way, unmanned. I don't know what Jordan Eberle is doing, just staring at him. But he's gonna
stare at him.
He's gonna get the puck right. And again, this is what Andres Palat should have done for the Devils, but couldn't do, because this is how he got the puck. Right, you're gonna see Hintz get it, and what does he do? Pulls the puck back, avoids Grubauer's poke check, and has time to put it on the
corner pocket. How many
up and over, dude?
We talked about that.
Unbelievable shot, dude.
Top left, Tony. Top left.
So good over the blocker. Poise.
Artwork.
It really is.
Artwork.
So silky smooth, calm, cool, collect. The poise, dude, to be in front of the goaltender and do that. I mean, that's just great instinct. Pavelski, one of the big guys, 2 goal and assists yesterday. I mentioned Jason Robertson as well. He had 3 assists yesterday, dude. Coming up big as a facilitator. That's what Dallas needs. Odinger, too, had a huge night because Seattle actually outshot Dallas. They had a lot of early chances early on in the first period. Odinger, perfect example, making a big save, whipping the puck out. Dallas scores on the other end because I think they had 2 goals in the first. They did. So, by the way, Hintz has 8 goals this postseason. So, think about that for the Stars, dude. They looks like they're kind of coming into their own right now against a Kraken team who looked like they could have kind of been dominant in this series. But as we move on to Game 6, tomorrow, we'll kind of see. So,
and then who you got? Oilers, Knights, and the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. Who you got? Gotta go.
Oh, you want to keep it quick? Let's go real quick. Golden Knights, at Game 5. Let's go.
Close out?
Fuck the Oilers, dude.
No. Take a 3-2 lead. 3-2 lead.
Yeah, 3-2 lead. 3-2 lead.
Oilers 5-0. McDavid 5 goals. Next.
Panthers here. I think.
Close it out.
No.
Really?
Leafs make it even more interesting, making it a 3-2 series. And I think Leafs come out here dominant, honestly. Like from the rip, everyone scoring. Like they win this game like 7-2.
And then you feel like you would tomorrow morning if the Mets scored 20 runs tonight against the Nationals.
Basically, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I want to see I think the Leafs. And I want to see them complete the comeback. That would be ridiculous.
That would be crazy for them too.
To kind of end that streak.
Oh.
And then what do we have one more comment?
We do have another comment here. Michael says it's a book and a screenplay.
Book and screenplay. So keep an eye out for
Look at
that.
dude.
Last thing, one more update here. AT&T Byron Nelson. We have 3 golfers tied at 11 under. Ryan Palmer, you know, PGA Tour veteran, hasn't won much, had some strong performances recently. So good to see him back there. He's tied with Scotty Scheffler, 4 under par through 11. And S.Y. No, fresh off the course record 60, teeing off at 1 o'clock on the back 9. Day and Stevens tied for 4th at 9 under par. So will be a fun weekend. Definitely encourage everybody who can tune into that to give it a look. You'll see some great golf shots, some great scores. And then also Suns get eliminated, so all that hype, the Durant trade, all that for nothing. So Kevin Durant once again leaves the world wondering, can he get to the next level without Steph Curry? And then also Lakers have a chance to advance to the conference finals tonight. They get it done. Didn't look good in Golden State, which was 2 days ago, but they're going to dominant performance tonight. And even some of the hardest critics out there, like Michael, will have nothing to say. LeBron, 35, 15, and 10 tonight, getting the Lakers to the Western Conference Finals. But other than that, I would like to thank everybody for tuning in today, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee in costume, the merch, downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend, enjoy screen time. Let's go Yankees. For Tony's sake, let's go Mets. And we will see you on Monday. Sayonara.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.